Hi, everyone, and welcome to Inside AWAI. Today's issue, if you will, is how to make good money freelance writing in 9 easy steps. My name is Rebecca Matter. That's me. I'm the president of AWAI. Hopefully you're familiar with me. And I am joined by Pam Foster. Hi, Pam.
Oh, hi there. Hi, everybody.
Hey. So Pam Foster is our Director of Copywriting Training, if you're not familiar with her. She actually joined us as a member 12 years ago, took our programs, was a success story in her own right, and then ended up writing for us, writing programs for us, becoming a speaker for us, becoming a trainer for us, and now she actually oversees all of our training. So we're excited to have her here today. She knows a lot about the whole world of making a living as a writer. And then finally, Katie Yeakle. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Pam. Hi, everybody. Happy to have you here today.
Katie is our fearless leader. She's the executive director of AWAI and is one of the original co-founders 20 years ago. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. And this session came about because of AWAI members. We've been asked time and time again, and we kind of forget. You know, we've been doing this for so long, we oftentimes forget that when someone is new to the idea of getting paid to write, that the path might not be that clear. So when we say things like, we talk about the opportunity, we talk about the path, we talk about choosing a niche and things like that, we sometimes forget that not everybody knows all those pieces. And so we collectively decided to put together this roadmap. Let's pretend that we were starting at the very beginning, that we just found AWAI and just realized that, oh my gosh, you can make a great living as a writer. I want to do that. What would the steps be to actually walk through from very beginning all the way to the end? Now, you might find that you're further along these steps. You might find that you're starting at step 3 or starting at step 4, and that's great. But our idea here is to give you the whole roadmap so that you'll know all of the steps that you'll be going through, and then hopefully from here on out, really diving into some of these even deeper. You're going to find that this is the blueprint. We're going to go over the topics. We're going to go over each of the points, but some of these points could be, you know, full reports or 5-hour training sessions. So we want to make sure that you have the full picture of everything that you're going to need to do. So our one goal for today, even though we have 9 steps, there's one single goal, and that is to ensure that you have a clear understanding of each step that you'll need to take in order to make good money writing. And our goal with this is that, you know, with everything that we do, we want you to be able to follow along step by step and achieve that dream. If you're here with us today, I'm assuming you want to make money as a writer. And we're going to talk about different ways to make money and how much money you can make. But if that's your goal, whatever that looks like, that's why we're here, and that's why we put together this session, and that's really what Inside AWAI is all about. It evolves month after month. We do these sessions every month, and we invite you to submit ideas. If you come across something that you're interested in, but you just don't know how to achieve it, or you come up against an obstacle and you're not sure how to get past it, this is the perfect time. You can ask us any questions that you want at the end and really help us understand what help you need so that we can help you. So with that, Pam, I'm going to let you start actually with this first opportunity. Let me pass the slides over to you.
All righty.
Take it away.
Okay. All right. So if you've been writing at all and you've been banging your head against the wall because you feel like, gosh, I've written for magazines that pay, you know, 3 cents a word, or I've been on Upwork, those websites that hire freelancers for $10 an article, or I've been writing my church's newsletter and it's just a labor of love, but I'm not making any money. You might be wondering, where is the money? Where can I do this and make a living at it? Because magazine articles are tough and it's you know, catch as catch can. So we're here to tell you that there's a whole world out there of people making a very, very good living making money as a writer. A copywriter is specifically what we're going to talk about today, and that encompasses basically any kind of business writing. So let's show you what that means. It's all about commerce. So the people who make money as writers are writing for commerce or businesses. And wherever people are exchanging money for goods or services, those businesses need to explain what the product or service is that they're selling, how that product or service solves a customer problem, need, or a wish, how it all works, how the product or service works, why it's the best solution out there in a category where they have competitors, why it's the best value even, and then how much does the product or service cost and how do you order it. So every single business you can think of on the planet has to explain this to customers so that they will become buyers. That's commerce. Now, when you think about it, there are a few different categories of commerce in our world of copywriting. There's B2B, which is business to consumer, which is something that you and I might buy as a regular customer. In the financial world, we might choose a bank or an online financial advisor or something like that. And then, of course, we're all consumers of health products, health supplements, health information. Then there's retail shopping, e-commerce online or brick-and-mortar stores down the street. Many of us are involved with learning. Education is a consumer thing where college students are learning through online universities or in person, everything down to small children learning at a local franchise preschool type thing. Then we have sports, which is very consumer driven, sporting events, sporting goods, all of those exciting things. We have products and services for babies and new moms. So, oh my gosh, I just became a grandmother, and my daughter and her son have so much stuff. That's all commerce. And then the food and wine industry is evergreen. Everybody loves food and wine all the time. Even in the down economy, food and wine are still critical. And the auto industry, buying cars, getting your car fixed, all that stuff, that's all consumer commerce. And those are just a few examples. And then we have the business-to-business world, which is so exciting and under the radar. A lot of people don't realize there's this huge, massive world of suppliers who, or vendors or manufacturers who are providing the goods and services to other businesses. So, for example, software developers and software companies are selling cloud storage solutions for big banks or big companies. We have also fitness software or other types of software to run a business, like a retail store or a gym. And then we have manufacturing, which is huge. Boy, there's so much there. There are parts. Like if you just think of a washing machine, how many different parts are in that washing machine? Those parts have to be manufactured by maybe different companies. Store displays, so for the retail world, while they're selling to us as consumers, they need displays and other tools in the store to run the business. HR or human resources systems are out there to help people hire and retain their staff, their employee base. Then there's shipping, the shipping industry, which is massive. As you know, if you order anything from Amazon, how it gets from their warehouse to you is a whole business supply chain. Then we have training. So we're a training company. There are thousands of training companies that are business training services. And then we have safety, like OSHA, the safety concerns of companies who, especially in the more physical types of jobs, construction and those types of things, manufacturing. There's a whole safety arm to that where they have to make sure everybody is safe and following good practices. That's all B2B. And then construction is for commercial buildings or renovations. There's a sweeping wave across the country of modifying buildings to be sustainable. So that's all business to business, and it is massive. Everything you can think of. Now, there also are companies that involve both business to consumer and B2B. The quickest one that comes to mind is Staples, where they sell things like back to school supplies to parents, but they also sell office supplies to small businesses or even mid-sized businesses. So that's a combination. We also have, like, think of a fish tank. You could buy a fish tank for your home, but a restaurant that sells seafood may feature a fish tank in their waiting area. Yeti coolers are used by sport fishermen, but they're also used by lobster fishermen who are doing this for their business. Safety gates, pharmaceuticals, skincare, supplements, anything you can think of almost anything you can think of has both a consumer side and then a business-to-business side. I love the gym equipment example because you might buy a treadmill for your home, but then if you go to the gym, where did all that equipment come from? Those were suppliers. So there's very much a mix in just about any niche market you can think of, which makes it very exciting because it just means there's tons of opportunity. Now, I love this, Steve Maurer, who is a copywriter who is a member of ours. He loves to look at businesses in a different way. He'll be driving down the highway and he'll notice these manufacturing plants and other kind of industrial buildings on the side of the road. And he'll say, those are all clients for me. Those are all potential clients who need to promote their services and products to their customers. So when you think about it, commerce is everywhere. Everywhere. Just look around the room you're in right now. All those things in your room were created by someone and sold. You decided to buy them for a reason, and you probably had to read, information about that before you made your decision. So it's just so exciting, and that's where you get to be a writer that can be well paid, because businesses love it when copy or copywriting sells more goods and services. Every business needs marketing copy or marketing content or marketing information to sell what they have. And they need to do it in print, like direct mail, or a magazine ad, or they do it online through websites and emails and all kinds of things. So it's just crazy how much stuff there is. And all of this selling, every single company who has to sell products and services need to tell their story, and that takes copywriting. And that's the kind of writing that you can make a really good living at. That came out really well, didn't it? That wasn't very smooth.
It was good.
Make a living at. Do you end sentences with at? Probably not. But
nope.
Anyway, I get so excited about this. I get tongue-tied sometimes. But essentially, copywriting is persuasive. Excuse me. Again, so excited. Persuasive business writing. So think about this. It's not just writing for the fun of it or to just inform somebody and not drive them to an action. Copywriting is persuasive. That's a key word, because you want to convince people that this is the product or solution for them. And then it's with the intent of driving an action. So you want to lead the customer to the next step, whether it's buying something online, just place an order, ba-bing, ba-boom, or if they want to read an article and then link to something like a free report that will give them more information and get them even more engaged with that brand or company. So that's what we're talking about here today, is copywriting. So here's an example in the business to consumer world. And I just happened to randomly pick camping tents because I used to work for LL Bean, so it popped into my mind. But if you were today looking for a camping tent, you, like many other consumers, would probably go and search online. So what you see online is what happens when these different websites have copy on them or content that brings them up in Google. So then the consumer will browse and look and maybe see an ad, or they'll click on a website that they see in the results, or they might read reviews. You might go to a website where tents are compared side by side, or you might find a coupon for a big savings off a Land's End tent or LL Bean or something like that. Or you might go directly to a website and look at the tents, see how they're described. You want to know which ones are waterproof, which ones stand up the best to wind, what size family you can have inside. All of that is copy. The consumer needs to know how to choose that product, and that's all copywriting. And then finally, if they like what they see, they're going to go ahead and place the order. And what does that look like? Again, there's copy involved in that sequence. Now let's look at a B2B example. We have an HR person or manager who's looking for an easy payroll system. It's a small business with maybe 50 employees, and they want an easy way to pay employees, especially if they're remote, whatever. So again, they're going to start online with a search. This happens every single minute of every day. They're going to maybe click on an ad again, like you can sort of see the top image of this square from Google is an ad. They might click on that, or they might go ahead and scroll down further and click on a website. Again, they might read reviews. Maybe they'll click on one of those, land on a page, and watch a video demo. Here's how our easy payroll system works. Then they'll download a free guide on how to make payroll painless for you, the small business HR manager. Or you might click a link to get a free consultation on a certain payroll system. All of those things, again, have copy. You can see on that screenshot, that's all words, right? Somebody had to write all of those words in a very particular way to drive interest and drive action. So that's what copywriting is really all about. And once you learn it, you can turn that skill of copywriting or business writing into 75 different projects. When you think about it, you have websites, emails, direct mail letters, video scripts. I could go on and on, articles, free reports, case studies, testimonials, all kinds of copy needs. Every business needs some or all of these. Every single business on the planet needs some form of copy to sell what they offer. And that's where the opportunity is for a well-paid writing career. So that's really, in a nutshell, the first part is understanding that this opportunity is about business writing. And here's a quote from Forbes. U.S. digital marketing spend will near $120 billion by 2021. So that's marketing spending. And all of that involves copywriting. So do you think there's growth potential there for all of us copywriters? Yeah. And other data that we have found recently shows that 70% of small to medium-sized businesses will increase their digital or web-based marketing budgets. Every business needs copywriting to compete, thrive, and even survive today with social media, sales copy, websites, print, trade show materials. It goes on, and that's where we can step up and be the heroes for them. So that's step one. That's understanding the opportunity, and it's all about business copywriting. So now I'm going to pass the baton, back to Rebecca.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's next?
And I just want to point out, guys, like if you just think about that for a second, and this is something, again, we take for granted, it's the opportunity. And it came to me when I was talking to my sister-in-law one day. Is it, Rebecca, like, tell me exactly what it is that you do again. Like, I know that you can help people become writers. I don't quite understand. And so I was trying to explain to her, like, what copywriting is. And that's when I started writing out. Like, there's literally millions of companies. And every company that is in business, the definition of business is selling something. So they're selling something. The only way to sell something is with marketing materials. All marketing materials are written, right? They have ideally they're written by copywriters. And so it's millions of companies with potentially 75 different types of marketing materials, all of which needs to be written. It's like when your brain almost can't even wrap around it because the opportunity is just so big. And Pam just gave you a tiny little slice of both the business-to-business and the business-to-consumer side of things. But every product, if you look around your room, wherever you are right now, everything in your room was sold to you and was likely also sold to a business who then sold it to you. Like if you think of the Staples example. Staples, all the products that are in Staples, many of those websites are selling to consumers, but they're also selling to Staples to then sell to you. So there's a business-to-business and a business-to-consumer for every single thing that you could think of. It's just mind-blowing how big this opportunity is.
And Rebecca, I just want to add as well, this selling isn't optional for the companies. It's not something, that comes after all the other budgets. This is where the companies start with selling. The copy that does their selling is the lifeblood of their company, just like selling in the world is the lifeblood of the economy. So that's where you're starting with these people. You're coming in and helping them solve one of the biggest problems that they have, and that's how to grow their business, how to make sales. So that's something that a lot of new copywriters don't necessarily grasp right away either, is the value that you're bringing and the help that you're offering and the solutions that you're offering.
Excellent. All right, so we know number one, we understand the opportunity. Any company that has anything to sell to anybody can benefit from a copywriter. So now that you understand that, the second step is to determine your money goal. Now, I like to talk about money because that's why we're here. There's a big, I say this again and again, but if you are not getting paid, then it's just a hobby, and that's cool too. But if you're here at AWAI, there's a good chance that you want to make money from your writing. Now, when we first started the company 20 years ago, one of the main promises that we came out with was that you could have a six-figure career. 6 figures implying, $100,000 or more, anything over $100,000. What we realized years later when interviewing our members is that most people who came to us had no dreams of a six-figure career. That really wasn't even something that they were thinking about. There were a percentage. I think it was like 15% of our group said that the six-figure goal was what their goal was. What we realized is that people were turning to us not for this big six-figure career, because, and it is possible, I mean, 6 figures, that's very common for professional full-time copywriters. But some people were coming just for extra money. They wanted to be able to take their daughter to mommy and me classes, or they wanted to be able to save for vacations and not have to worry about the income that they were making. That was to pay the bills. They wanted this extra money. Some people wanted to just supplement their income. There were all these different levels. Some people just wanted to replace a $40,000 job or a $75,000 job. So even though 6 figures wasn't their goal, we still served the purpose that they were trying to achieve. And so we want you now to think about when you're going into all of this, because what you decide today, it can change, but what you want right now, what you're hoping to get, why you're here, is going to dictate which path you might choose to go down. It'll help, I guess, a good way of saying it is, let's say there's 75 opportunities, it'll help start narrowing down the ones you might go after if you make these decisions. So what is it that you really want right now? And I recommend that everybody, I mean, you might have a gut instinct that just says exactly what you want. But when I say, you want to get paid to write, you want to make a living as a writer, what does that mean? Why are you here at AWAI? Why are you on this webinar? Are you looking for extra cash, like that mad money just on the side, maybe for like car repairs that are unexpected, or again, vacations, or maybe you want to take jiu-jitsu lessons with your friends? Like, is it just that kind of money? Are you looking to supplement your income? Like, what would $10,000 more a year be? $20,000, $30,000. If you could just supplement the income, maybe you love your job, maybe you love the stability of your job, but you just want to supplement it with extra income. So what is that number that would make you happy, that would get away your credit card bills and not have to make you worry about your property taxes or things like that? What is that number? Or are you looking to replace your current income with a new career? Now, all 3 of these are going to lead you on different paths, because all of them are going to require different time investments and commitments. So you really need to think about why you're doing it and know that you can evolve as time goes on. Today, you might just start with, I just want to make a little extra cash on the side just to see if I even like this. Just want to try it out. Fine. 3 months from now, when you're making, $1,000 or $2,000 a month, you might say, I might want to try to go a little harder. Maybe I want to do a little bit more. I want to just replace my current income but not quit my job. Like Steve Maurer, the example Pam Foster was telling you about, like one of our case studies. His original goal was to replace his income at his job and quit his job. But then he got to that point a year later and realized that he liked his job, and it actually gave him a lot of credibility in his copywriting field because he stayed in the industry that he worked in. So really, he just doubled his income by moonlighting as a copywriter, right? So, you can transition as you go. Or you might be sitting here saying, Rebecca, if I have to look at another insurance document one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. Like, I have to replace my career. That's a different conversation. So think about, okay, what is the income that you need to replace? Not even necessarily your income right now, but what is it in order for you to transition safely from your job to make sure that you can pay all of your bills? So let's just say you want extra cash here and there, right? Vacation, unexpected car repairs, maybe you're saving for a wedding. You want to be able to fit it into your schedule whenever. You don't want this consistency every single week. You don't really want to commit to anybody. You just kind of want a little bit of like, I can use $500, I can use $1,000, I can use $2,000. What are the kinds of projects? Well, in that case, you might just want to do what we call one-time pickup projects. These are projects where you can just learn how to write this one thing and write it and go out and land clients when you want. You can just do white papers, right? A white paper is a research report. They take a little while to write, but you can do it in your own time, and that just might be where you live. Maybe you only take one white paper assignment every 3 months. You could do articles. I mean, we all know what an article is, right? There's a definite method behind writing an article, but once you learn that method, assuming you can come up with new ideas, That's a very easy project to take on. Or site audits. Site audits is another great example. It's like for those of you who are geeky like me, like checklists and things, you know, you take a checklist and then you go and you look at a website and you say like, you know, does this website's homepage have its city and state on it? If it does not, check no, and that's the way that they can improve their website right away. There are these projects, and we have so many of them, and we're going to actually put together a full report on all 75 projects so that you really can get a feel for it. But the idea is if you just want extra cash, don't worry about, you know, making this big decision about this new career. You could just learn a couple project types and just do those. Maybe you write press releases, maybe you write case studies, these things that are just kind of one-off. I learned the process, I learned how to do it, and I'm on my way. Maybe you want to supplement your income. So if you're a little bit more invested here, you might want more predictable income. This is additional money on top of your day job. So you still have your day job, but you want to make a good $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 extra just to, you know, round out the corners. So you might take on blogging, newsletters, social media management. These are all types of opportunities where your clients are going to set up what's called a retainer deal. That means that you're doing the same work every single month, and they're paying you the same amount every single month. That's called a retainer. What's great about it is that it's ongoing predictable income. You know exactly how many hours you're working every week, so it's going to take you 10 hours to do this job every week or every month or whatever it is. They're going to pay you this much money. You can predict your income, and you can predict your hours, so it's really great if you're going to be working a little bit more to have that consistency from month to month. And then finally, if you're looking to replace your current income or start a whole new career, I mean, copywriters, again, you don't have to make $100,000. But if you want to, they all have that potential, whether you're a direct response copywriter or content writer, online copywriter or optimization specialist, that's someone who writes copy for websites and makes sure that it's found on Google, or a business-to-business copywriter. You can just live in that space, in a very specific space, and make six figures as a B2B copywriter. If that's your path, just remember, you're replacing a career. If you're a dentist, you invested time and energy to learn the trade, right, to become a dentist. The same thing as with a copywriter. If you're expecting to make six figures as a copywriter, be prepared to invest the time in a career. This is a six-figure career. This is not like somebody walks off the street, has zero skills, and is like, hey, here's an easy button, push it, I get to be a copywriter. It's not like that. You're going to invest time. You're going to try. You're going to learn and improve your craft and work at it. And it's going to be awesome because then you're going to have this career that you're fully in control of. But that is an option. So I want you, when you're thinking about, when you're listening to AWAI, when you're reading our emails, be thinking about what lane are you in? Are you extra? Are you supplementing your income? Or are you looking for a new career? Because that will help you make some of your important decisions. So once you know that, now it's time to explore the different options. This is step 3. No matter what you like the idea of short copy, great. You like the idea of long copy, fantastic. You love the idea of selling. You hate the idea of selling. Great. There's tons of projects for either one of you. You like projects that you can write a retainer where it's the same company every single month. You know it's reliable. You know, you like the consistency. Same person every month, same topic, just new copy. Great. Maybe it's newsletters, social media, writing content. You want to write for yourself. You hate the idea of working for clients. Great. There's opportunities for you. You love working for clients. Maybe you were a former journalist and you love getting a story. Maybe case studies are right for you. Maybe you're a great storyteller, right? Like, I'm a horrible storyteller, but if you can tell a good story, there is money to be made for you in copywriting. So maybe video sales is your path. But you just need to start thinking about, like, what are the things I like to do? What do I like to write about? What's the style I like to write? And just immerse yourself in this world. Start reading copy, reading from the companies that you buy from, that you visit, the websites that you frequent. What kinds of copy are they putting out there? Like, what's the kind of stuff that you thought, well, this is really cool. If I could write this, that would make me, I would just love to get up every single day. I remember the first time I saw a magalog. A magalog is like a sales letter that looks like a magazine. The first time I ever saw a magalog, I thought, this is cool. Like, somebody had this idea to create this full sales letter, this persuasive argument, and deliver it in a really fun and engaging way that we're all used to consuming, right? It's a magazine, and that's called a magalog. So just kind of immerse yourself and say, I would love to write this. You know, if you like reading The Writer's Life, you're like, oh, I just love to write content. That would be great. I would love to be on social media. I'm on Facebook all the time anyways. Why not get paid $2,000 a month to manage somebody else's Facebook account? There's so many opportunities. Like Pam said, we're talking 75 plus. The last time we audited the industry, we publish a report every single year. We'll give it away with these slides so that you have it. but it has all the pricing and, you know, what all the opportunities are. But we're going to put together a report that details out each one. So you can see, like when I say Maglog, I can picture one, maybe you can't. Well, we're actually going to put together, this is the project, here's how much you can get paid, here's what it entails, this is what it looks like. So we'll circulate that as soon as we're done with it. But if you're just thinking, so like on the B2C side, business to consumer, you've got sales letters, websites, emails, Facebook, how-to videos, blog posts, so many options just on B2C, you know, if you like consumer. Or on the B2B side, and we're going to go through this a little bit in more detail in a second here, you might write websites, white papers, those are those research reports I was telling you about, case studies, before and after. This person had this success with this product, here's where they were before, here's where they are now. Great assignments, they take 5 to 7 hours to write, they pay $1,500 bucks. I mean, there's just so much of this. Email campaigns, newsletters, on both sides, there are so many opportunities for writers. So you're going to explore, just explore the different paths. Use AWAI's catalog. It's a great resource tool for understanding all the paths. If you're like, this case study thing, that sounds interesting, go over to our catalog. If there's a way to make a living as a writer, there's a really good chance that we have a program on it. And 80% of our promos are research-driven. We want to know about the opportunity, and we want to be able to explain it to you so that you can see if it's right for you. So read our promotions, not just from a should I buy the program, but let me learn about the industry. They're going to tell you how much you can make. They're going to tell you what the projects look like, who hires them, or what kind of clients are using them, what it looks like, how much time it's going to take. So you'll get a good feel for all of the different projects. And then you'll just start a list. And you only need 1 or 2. You don't need to have a full, 17 different project types when you start, because the reality is, if you know how to do project A, let's say you can only write case studies, and your client says, hey, Steve, that's awesome. I'd also like for you to write a white paper. You're like, no problem. I got time about a month from now in my schedule, or 3 weeks from now. Clients don't expect you to turn it around right away. You go to AWAI, we have a program that teaches it. You tell your client, no problem. You take the program, you learn how to do it, and bam. Now you're able to do it for your client. So know that you don't have to have this all before you jump in. You just need one, and then you can put yourself out there and move on to this next step, which is deciding who you want to write for. Now, many people, when they think about making a living as a writer, and they think about landing clients, they think the old-fashioned way of finding a job, which is to go to a job board, right? That's not what we really teach here. We put you in a little more control. We want you to write about things that either are interesting to you or are relevant to the experience, whether it's professional or personal, or just who you are. So we're going to talk about this, but we're going to talk about who do you want to write for. When I say my name is Rebecca Matter, I'm a direct response copywriter, I write for this industry. I write for the infant safety industry or wine industry, or, I'm looking for that specific niche. And we have a whole session inside AWAI on picking the right niche that Pam Foster taught. She's fantastic at helping people make the decision. And even though everybody resists it, it's one of the things that we're going to tell you. You have to decide who you want to write for. You're going to resist it at first because you're going to say, but Rebecca, I want to cast net really wide. I don't want to say no to any opportunities. I want to make sure that everybody who wants to hire me contacts me, and I get that. But the reality is that when you focus in, you become more valuable. Clients are going to expect to pay you more. There's so many benefits to actually picking it. So the next step, whether you like it or not, is deciding who you're going to write for, otherwise known as picking a niche. So you might decide I'm going to work for mid-sized companies, large companies, small companies, whatever it looks like. I want to work with really small, 3-person companies where I'm working for the owner. I want to work for mid-sized companies, more like AWAI. We're pretty small, but we're probably on the small side of mid. But where there are a couple of marketers maybe, or people who are, they're doing a little bit more with their marketing, and so I really want to get into a company that has a lot of different marketing channels, or large companies. I want to work with like a big outfit who has, big infrastructure, and that might be your thing, especially if you come from a big corporate background. You might decide B2C, you might decide B2B. Like Pam was showing you, you might decide both. You might not make a decision one or the other. You might just go after the companies that you want, knowing that they likely have both markets, and you're going to write on both sides. That's fine too. Or you'll focus in on an actual industry, like financial, health, software. So let's look at that so you'll know what I'm talking about and ways that you can decide. The first way you can approach a niche is to decide what kind of buyer are you. Like just write down on a piece of paper all the things that you are. Like me, I'm a mom. So a few years ago when I first became a mom, I was doing so much reading and research about safety, right? I was terrified to bathe my kid. And God forbid they got a sniffle or a fever. Like I was just panicking all the time about what if the baby climbs out of its crib at 4 weeks old. Like, well, we have to put the baby gate up right away. So I was a new mom. Man, new moms are rabid buyers. They are rabid consumers. So for me, being a new mom and being in that skin and understanding the mindset of a new mom and the fears of a new mom, wouldn't you believe that if I went to any infant safety product owner, seller, reseller, manufacturer, whatever, and said, here are my samples, I am the best copywriter that you can hire because I get your market. I am your market. I know exactly what new moms are thinking because I am a new mom. So you think about, like, who am I? Maybe you're a retiree. Maybe you're a college kid, and you're thinking, you know, I could talk to other college kids. We have so many great stories of kids who got our programs while in college and then left, like didn't even go into the career world. They just became copywriters. So maybe you think, oh, I'm a college. I could totally talk to them because I can speak their language. So you might come to me or come to any other company that is attracting or targeting college kids and say, I get your audience. Let me write for you. Maybe you're health conscious. Like you believe in alternative health. You live it. You take supplements. You exercise. Like you're that mindset. Great. There's like so many companies that you can write for. And again, you understand their audience because you are their buyers. Maybe you're a baby boomer, a millennial. Maybe you're a homeowner, right? All of these companies targeting new homeowners. There's just so many things. So you can think about what kind of buyer, what are the things that you buy, what are the things that you consume, what are the companies that you think, oh my gosh, if I could wake up again every day writing for this company, I'd be so happy. Like that's how I feel about AWAI. Every day I wake up like, this is fantastic. I love this audience. I love what I'm writing. So just think about the kind of buyer that you are, the things that you buy, the stuff that you consume. You can think about what interests you have. Again, maybe it's health and fitness. Maybe you like to drink wine. Maybe you're into martial arts, gardening, sports, the stock market. Like that's your thing. Boating, antique, like anything you can possibly think of, restoring old cars, like anything that you like to do, there is an industry of people selling to people like that who have the same interests, and there are products and services that are being sold. So you can think about what interests you have. And finally, what past experience do you have? If you've done any kind of job, I'm talking anything. If you are, I always use this example, but if you install solar panels, right, you've done it for 10 years, and you and I have 20 years of marketing copywriting experience, you have 10 years of solar panel installation experience, and you and I both try to become copywriters in the solar technology industry, and we both go for the exact same job. Who do you think is getting the job? You are. Every day of the week, and they're going to expect to pay you a lot more. Even though I have the copywriting experience, I have zero understanding of what the solar technology industry is. I don't know who the players are. I don't know who the clients are. I don't know what the products are. I don't know how it works. I don't even know the jargon, the lingo, any of it. And it's going to take me a lot longer to get the 10 years of experience that you have listening to your boss and reading the materials and all of your training and all of that stuff. I'm never going to be able to get to where you are, right? So you're going to win that job. So you might leverage the experience that you already have. If you're a teacher, a nurse, a pilot, like anything that you've ever done in your professional career, you can leverage all of that experience as a copywriter. At the end of the day, all clients want to see are samples, which you can create. If you want to be a case study writer in the solar panel industry, take the case study program, write a sample case study. It doesn't matter if you have zero experience writing case studies, because when you go out, you're going to say, I have 10 years in the solar technology industry, right? And here's a sample of my case study, by the way. So even on day one, you're not like a newbie out there, someone going to pay me. No, you're a professional case study writer in the solar technology space. You have the proof because you have a sample case study and you have this great experience that you've already had. So you can approach it from one of those three ways. You know, who are you as a buyer? What kind of interest do you have? Or what kind of past experience do you have? And then once you know that, if you know your project that you want to write, and you know the industry you want to write for, it's time for step 5. Katie, I'm going to call you in for this one.
Okay, great. Well, as you heard from Rebecca, passion, experience, insight, wisdom, expertise, all of those are a big part of helping you become the copywriters that you want to come. I'm loving seeing everybody's reasons for why they want to do this, and especially I love the ones that, you know, all three, which is great, and you're in the right place. But you do need skills. This just doesn't happen by osmosis. It just doesn't come from wishing. There is work involved with all of these paths that we're talking about. And it varies. If there are plenty of opportunities that can be learned in, you know, a week or 2 weeks of going through the programs, doing the work, and practicing. Others are more sophisticated and obviously take longer. The big thing to understand, though, is you're never really done. And that's one of the big appeals of becoming a copywriter, is that you are always learning. There's always something new. The industry is changing so at such an exciting pace that there's always something new to learn, to try, to test, and to just keep your mind active and engaged. The other qualities or traits that I have a feeling you have, if you're here, if you're with us so much, is, you know, curiosity. That is the key to being a successful copywriter, because that's where the ideas come from. That's where the plan for implementing these skills that you're learning, that's the platform. It all starts with curiosity, by finding these ideas and then having the skills to then translate those into persuasive, engaging copy. So you do need skills. And another thing is reading is such a big part of this. I don't want to go beyond that. That's part of the skills that you need to have. If you love to read, that is definitely going to serve you very well, and it's going to deepen the opportunities that you have, because you're going to be learning and you're going to be coming up with other ways of applying what you're learning. So these are the foundation programs that we offer at AWAI. The accelerated program for six-figure copywriting. This is our flagship program. This is what we recommend everybody start with. It gives you a foundation in persuasive writing. It's focused on writing a sales letter, and you actually write a full sales letter as you go through it that you get feedback on. But the lessons apply to any type of writing. It's about connecting with your prospect. It's about knowing how to write in a voice and a tone that is engaging. It's about knowing how to make a promise and paint a picture. These are all the things that you learn that just are going to influence any type of writing that you ever have, even if it's in your personal life too, because what you're learning is how to make a persuasive argument. And, you know, who wouldn't like to have that up their sleeve when they're, trying to persuade somebody in the household to do something that they want to do. That's the foundation. Then if you do want to focus on the B2B world, which is so huge as we've learned here, we have Secrets of High Performance B2B Copy, and that will get you set up. That will be your launch pad for anything you want to do in B2B. Then our third foundation program is Web Copywriting 2.0. And this really it crosses all niches, it crosses all boundaries. There isn't any company, I can't imagine, that doesn't employ some aspect of web marketing in their business. So this is like a resource guide you keep on your shelf when you get that project for a landing page, you get that project for autoresponders. This is where you go, and it's all spelled out there what you need to do. It really complements everything that you're doing. Now, I want to point out, with these programs and with every program that AWAI offers, we spend a lot of time and we get the very best experts. It's cutting-edge information, and it's the best skill-building resources available. We update them, and once you buy one, you always get the updates. We call all our programs living programs. But as much time as we spend on skill building, we spend just as much effort on teaching you how to then take those skills and earn money from them. How you actually turn this into a business, because that is what you will be doing if you go down this path. You will be running your own copywriting business. So we understand how important that is. We understand that it can be intimidating. We understand that not everybody knows how to do that just automatically. So we put a lot of care and effort in providing all kinds of different paths to take to actually get started. But we'll go into that a little bit more in just a minute. AWAI, we have probably over 70 programs or so, because once you have this great foundation, there are so many different specialties that you can go into. So if you check out our catalog on our website, that will, you'll just see all the different opportunities that you have. And our member services team is fantastic at helping you decide what's right for you, which order, where to get started, what to do based on your interest. And then we also, like back to the skill building where I was saying reading's important, you have to love to write. You have to actually write, though. That is one of the first things that we say in pretty much all the programs that we teach. Rebecca and I do a companion series, and we end each one with, write every day, because we just can't stress enough how important that is, because writing is a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets, the quicker it gets, and the more powerful it gets. And so we have all different ideas and suggestions or strategies for helping you write every day. But this is just a free thing that we put out there. Feel free to check it out. Every week there's a new writing prompt that'll carry you through the week. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. So like I said, once you decide that, this isn't a hobby, this is serious, those goals that I just said, yes, I want to replace my current income and have this be it. You have to get serious, and you do have to think about then, how are you going to turn this into a business? Now, like I said, we have skinned this cat pretty much every way that you can, and the beauty of the AWAI membership is it's so broad and so vast and so varied, and there are people who have done what you wanted to do, how you want to do it. There's no one way to do this. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's just whatever works for you. But I can guarantee you there's been somebody that's already broken that path for you. There's people that are at all different points along the path, and they're really a generous group. They're really happy to share, to say what they did to get started. But, some of the most common methods for you to get started, LinkedIn, that's a great resource. And we have quite a few members who are updating their strategies on how they're building their businesses on LinkedIn. Steve Maurer, who was mentioned earlier, he's like the LinkedIn pro, and that's how he's, doubles his income. A website, having a freelance writer's website, that's something that may sound scary, but we have a great, Rebecca has put together this great 4-part series where by the time you're done, you have a website and you're in business. Writing, doing samples, approaching companies with ideas and reaching out to them. Networking, speaking, all of these things is as many ways as you want to do it, there are ways to do it. The really important takeaway here is just understanding that this is part of it. You don't have to do it on your own. We're here to help you, but ultimately, it is important. And the beauty of it is like I said earlier, you are helping these companies. So often, these client relationships actually become more than that, and they're, friendships are formed, and you're really part of a team, and it's very rewarding that way. Here's some, like I said, some of our resources as far as how to market yourself. We do these Inside AWAIs every month. We have probably over 18 of them so far. And marketing yourself has been a topic that we've come back to, as like I said, in different ways. So I would skim through those and check them out, give them each an order, give them a chance. And then there's specific programs as well. You know, we have some just on getting your confidence. We have some on how to network. We have some on specific strategies that you'll find in the catalog. And if you go to our website under the article archive and you put in marketing, put in getting clients, there is a slew of articles there. I also recommend checking out our case studies on our website. I don't even know how many we have there. There's a lot, and we're adding to it all the time. But oftentimes, this is where we've taken one of our success stories and done an in-depth profile of them. And often they are talking about how they got their first client. And I got to tell you, a lot of people get their first clients just by saying, I'm a copywriter. That's another thing we encourage you to do from day one. Tell everybody in your world, because it could be, you know, your brother's sister-in-law's boss needs a new website, or the person that you're standing in line with at Starbucks, you strike up a conversation. This has happened, and more than once. Oh, what do you do? Well, I'm a copywriter. Oh, really? We were just talking about that. We need somebody to redo this for us or to write this. It can be that easy. So I definitely don't want that to be an obstacle for you, and I just want you to know that we've got your back. We know how important it is, and it's part of the whole success equation as far as we're concerned. Oh, also, we do have a job board, and this is it's exclusive for AWAI members, and it's available to you with the accelerated copywriting program. Marketers come and post jobs here, and again, it's another great resource, and we give you lots of tips on how to take advantage of those opportunities as well. So now we know the skills you need. We know that you love to write. We know that you're passionate. We know that there's different paths you can take to actually get your first client, which is going to lead into more assignments. But for that to happen, you do need to, you know, complete your first project. That's really when you're in business. When you get paid for the writing that you do, that's when it's official. And it's such an important milestone that we encourage you to do what you can to get that first project. You know, they could be things like Rebecca mentioned some of these. Could be web pages, and for that you could be paid $250 to $500, or blog posts. You know, go out. What are the blogs that you read? What are the areas that you're passionate about? Put yourself out there. Offer to write something. Bring them an idea. Think about the conversation that these companies are having with their customers. What can you add to it? Offer to write it for them. You know, all of these things. You know, sales letters, emails, case studies. These are all potential projects for you. These are all potential paydays, and these are all the potential to start your freelance writing career. All right, so I think those get through the business side of things. So now let's jump back. Oh, let's just quickly, these things to remember. You're never going to know it all, and that's the beauty. That's the plus. But I promise you, what you write tomorrow is going to be better than today. What you write a year from now is going to be better. You know, it's just going to keep growing. And you're going to find clients that are at your current skill level. So that's another great thing, is it's so easy to grow as your skill level grows. You always want to do your best. You know, you are a professional. You need to always present yourself that way. You want to be somebody that's a pleasure to work with. And so that's, you know, everything that comes with being a professional. You never want to miss a deadline. You want to think of all the assignments that you're doing, that's not the end. That's not really the end goal. That's just one step along this path that you're doing. So you want to learn as much as you can, get as much feedback, you know, embrace critiquing, embrace the ups and downs that go along with this. And then just know that there are millions of potential clients out there. And what's important is that you do your best. If things don't work out with one, there are plenty of other fish in the sea. And you know, I'm not even going to go there because I'm not worried about that with you guys. You're just going to do your best. You're going to move on, and you're going to grow as your career grows. So now, resources for completing projects. We've covered all of this as well. We have working effectively with clients. You know, this is getting input from the client side of the table as well. And that's another thing, too, to point out is, you know, we are clients, AWAI. We work with, at any given time, at least a dozen, you know, at least maybe 2 dozen writers, freelance or staff writers. And these are all writers who have come through our program and they're learning. So we view things from the marketer side as well as from the writer side, and we're always giving that perspective when we're teaching you how to be the most effective. We have it's essential business templates, which takes care of all the business stuff that people are concerned about, like invoices and contracts and things like that. This, we've made that easy for you. And there's just a ton of free articles in our on our archive. So for any of these kind of topics, our Facebook groups are very active, and like I said, our people are very generous and happy to talk to you. But so now we've written the first assignment. So Pam, let's go back to you as far as getting paid.
All righty. So one of the biggest questions we have about being a freelance copywriter is how you set up your business, and tax questions and accounting questions. And we are absolutely not accountants or tax experts or even lawyers or anything like that. So we encourage you to find an accountant. And actually, this little website image here is my own accountant. I did his website, and I do a quarterly employee newsletter, not employee, a quarterly client newsletter for him in trade for him to advise me on my freelance business and do my taxes once a year. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful relationship. Highly recommend that, because accountants are usually not good at marketing. Usually their websites are pretty bad, and you could offer to help them with their website in exchange for them to help you perhaps. But the things you want to have buttoned down is you want to plan on paying taxes, obviously, on the income that you get, and setting that aside and paying the IRS and all that fun stuff. You also want to determine your business structure. There are decisions to be made about, do I want to be a sole proprietor? Do I want to be an LLC or something like that? Again, you can ask your accountant about that, or a local attorney. You want to save all of your receipts and keep track of any deductible expenses that you engage in over time when you're building your business. You want to track your invoices, of course, and you can do that online. There are several different software programs to easily invoice clients electronically, PayPal or FreshBooks or QuickBooks. And then you want to make it as painless as possible. Really, people are, I'm a writer, I'm not a bookkeeper. So I try to keep everything as painless as possible and easy, and there's so many tools today that can do that. But the beauty of it is, if you have an accountant that you can work with, they'll help you set everything up in an easy manner. But I wanted to mention that because, yes, there is a business side to being a freelance copywriter, but it doesn't have to be a big pain. And you can do it. We all can do it now with the tools that are out there. But that's the next step. So you get paid, and then what do you do when you get paid? Oh, wait, first.
Party!
I was gonna say that, but first, we do have some resources for running your business, and I wanted to mention those first. Darn, I was segueing into that big ta-da, but here we go.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. We'll do it still. But we have a pricing guide. Somebody asked earlier in the Q&A, and if you follow this link, it's a free download of a report that we create once a year on the state of the industry or the demand for copywriting, and then we have a sheet, a chart with the fee ranges for 75 different projects. And those include digital projects like websites and everything, and print. There's still a lot of print out there. There's a lot of direct mail. It's still very popular. So we have the ranges for all of those. We also have a program called The Simplest Guide to Pricing Projects and Negotiating Fees. There's the link there. And then finally, we did do an Inside AWAI session recently on setting up your business, and we talked more in depth about these different considerations and how to go about making a decision for yourself on how you want to establish your structure and set up your billing and all that stuff. So because like every step that we've positioned or that we've presented here could be a whole session, and we have done sessions on many of these. So we're not going to leave you high and dry. You can go check out our Inside AWAI page, and you'll find 18 different sessions on topics of interest to you. All right, now we get to celebrate. So you've got your first client. Yay! You've got your first client. You finished your first project. You handed it in. You know, very likely they might have had 1 or 2 tweaks, which is very common. And be ready for that. Don't be upset if the client wants a few changes. It's inevitable because they know their business better than anyone. They're going to have a few changes, and that's part of the deal. But you take them with grace and you make some tweaks, and then you can deliver the final product, get paid, and celebrate. Celebrate that win. I get checks in the mail and I kiss them. I'm so excited that I got paid to be a writer, that I have kissed every check for the last 10, 12 years that I've gotten from freelance clients before I deposit them, because I love that I make money this way, that this is the way I can make my living. So celebrate that. And that is step 9. So that was step 1 through 9, and then you just repeat the whole darn thing again. You figure out who you want to work with. You meet them at a Chamber of Commerce meeting in town, or through your website online, or through LinkedIn, and then you get going on a project. You complete it. You get paid and you celebrate. So,
and I just want to add, we love
Sure.
to celebrate with you. So let us in on it. Let us be part of the party as well. We love to share stories because it inspires everybody else, and it prompts ideas. So we're your biggest cheerleaders, and we're your biggest party friends.
Yeah, we're your biggest party friends. I love that. Well, and I luckily wonderfully hear from people who have made strides. As a matter of fact, during this session right now, I got an email from somebody who is making a big leap, and he decided to do a website audit of the content for his brother-in-law's company. I think that's what he said. And it's opening the door for him to rewrite the website. Woohoo! It just happened. So, I mean, this is happening all the time. Now, I want to tell you what you don't need to get started, because there's a lot of concern, you know, do I have to go get my master's degree at Harvard? No, you don't have to spend huge amounts of money and time and ages on working through this. You don't need a big budget. It's as simple as a laptop and Wi-Fi, and if you can set it up on the kitchen table even. You don't need an expensive office. You don't need fancy equipment of any kind, except you do need a computer. So, you know, that's one thing that most people have, right? You don't need a degree of any kind to do this, because you're going to learn the practical, real-world aspects of copywriting through us. And no one cares out there in client land if you have a degree. They want to know if you can write copy that's going to sell their products. That's all they care about. You don't need prior training up to now. If you're just starting out green and you are making a career change, we can start you from step 1 all the way through. And if so, no experience, no problem. It's pretty great. And now we want to tell you what to do next. So we've shown you the steps of how to get going on all this. You can go back and watch this replay on our Inside AI page. It'll be loaded up there early next week. You can watch it again. If you've been taking notes, you can just go through your notes and then think about what you want to do next. Do you want to learn the foundation of copywriting, or do you want to dive into web copywriting specifically, or B2B? These are options you can choose. If you just want to become someone who writes case studies, you can choose that. But you should learn a skill, invest in yourself, invest in your future, learn a skill that is highly in demand, which copywriting is, and then start connecting with potential clients. Again, you can do that on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is free. You can just set your profile up and start connecting with people. You can go to a local chamber breakfast. You can go to a local business expo. Most small cities and larger cities have business expos where different companies come to meet service providers. And then you want to set up your business, and those free resources inside AWAI can show you how. And then keep going, keep growing, take those steps, get the momentum going, never give up. As Winston Churchill says, never give up, and you will get there. We've seen it day after day, including the email I got while we were doing this session. So those are the things we want you to do so you can have a great living the way you want it on your terms as a copywriter. So now, most importantly, we are here to help you. We're going to open up for questions now for a short time. We'll be happy to answer your burning questions. And then if we can do anything to help you be successful, you can count us in. You can contact our member services. You can contact us through the website. You can look at more of our free sessions. Everything you need to succeed is here through us. And this is what we've been doing for 20 years, and we live and breathe it every day. And I'm living proof. I left corporate America to start becoming a freelance copywriter, and grew up with the company, and now I'm here full time because I love doing this every day. So I can't wait to see what you do with this. And now we're going to open up with questions.
So guys, if you have more questions, post them in the Q&A. We've answered everything that's been there so far. But just let us help you idea. This is actually our 19th Inside AWAI. We started this January of last year just as an idea to see if we thought you wanted to work directly with us in this kind of capacity, and it worked out very well, and you all have given us such great ideas. All of the sessions that we've put together have been as a result of questions we've heard from you. So if you feel like you want us to dive deeper into something, we had somebody ask us about LinkedIn, so we did a session on LinkedIn. We had a session about, I'm afraid, people are saying, I'm just afraid to market myself. I don't understand this whole going out there and reaching out to clients. So we did a session on 5 inbound marketing strategies, ways to get clients to come to you. Somebody was asking in the Q&A, how do you actually get clients? The steps are always the same. You have to define a niche. You have to pick an industry. You have to research companies in that industry, and then you have to market yourself. You're going to need a website. You're going to need a LinkedIn profile. You're putting together a business. It's like any other professional trade, right? A certified public accountant, a lawyer, a dentist, like whatever it is, you have to have a presence, and you have to understand who your potential clients are and what services you offer. And then you go to those clients and you offer your services, just like any other professional. And I know that, again, just like the session today, we sometimes oversimplify in our minds because we've been doing it for so long. But we have so many insights. Again, this is the 19th one. If you go to Inside AWAI, there's likely a full webinar on the specific topic, whether it's picking a niche, whether it's putting up your LinkedIn profile, whether it's understanding how to market yourself. There's so many sessions in there. But if you come across them and you're like, okay, great, this is really exciting, but I really want to know about X, Y, and Z. How do I market myself at trade shows or whatever the thing is? Just let us know. I'm reachable at askrebecca@awaiionline.com. I answer all my own emails. Katie's the same thing. Ask Katie at awaiionline.com. We have our Facebook groups, call member services, whatever you want. Like, we are here. When we had that last slide, let us help you. This is what we love to do. Like, this is AWAI has been around for 20 years for this reason, because we love this. We want you to be successful, and we are willing to adapt on our side to do whatever we need to do to make you successful. The industry keeps changing, we keep evolving, you keep evolving, so just let us know. You can count us in. If we can help you, we're going to do it.
A couple questions I want to touch on. Ruthie's asking, what is a realistic goal via timeline to become a copywriter? And, we'll have Rebecca and Pam chime chime in on this as well too, but you know, it's such, I wish I could say, you know, 3 weeks from Thursday, that's it, but it just doesn't work that way. There's so many variables depending on, you know, where you are coming into it, how much time you have to put into it, how aggressive you are as far as starting the marketing, and how comfortable you are with all of that. I can tell you there have been people that have gotten their first clients that have launched their careers in, you know, just a few months of taking the accelerated copywriting program. There have been many that have gotten first clients before they've even finished it. It so much depends on when you're comfortable to actually say, hey, I'm a copywriter and I can do this. You know, others, they're working, they have life, they have families, that, you know, and it's taken longer. I think my advice would be to, you know, give yourself a good 6 to 12 months to get a solid foundation, get all your ducks in a row, and start putting yourself out there, and having clients start to come in. And just the other thing, this does build. It's, you know, you're probably going to do better in your second year than your first year, and you're better in your third year, and it's not 0 to 60. It grows in increments. I don't know, Rebecca or Pam, do you have anything other to say to that?
I think you covered it. Nick Osborne always answers it. It's like asking how long is a piece of string, because you don't know. Like, every single person is so different. Like you said, everybody has the same different amounts of time. They have different goals, different commitments, things that they're, you know, do you already work 50 hours a week? Are you doing this full time? So it really depends on how fast you want to work at this, how much time you're willing to put in, and what your goals are. When you say become a copywriter, do you mean land your first assignment? I mean, realistically, you could land an assignment this week, in the next week. It really depends on what your measurement of success is. So that's part of the reason why I always recommend that. I'm not a big goal setter. I'm one of these people who believes in just like killing it every single day, working as hard as you can. But it's good to know, like, how will you know when you've hit the point of, like, okay, I'm a copywriter. What does that mean to you? Because everyone on the phone, it might mean something different. But it's a worthwhile thing to write down. You know, how will you know when you've hit a point where you're like, okay, this is real? Like, is it your first assignment? Is it your first $5,000? Is it your first month where you've made, or your first 3 months where you've made $5,000 consistently? You know, write that down and figure out what your metric is for yourself.
Another kind of timeline question, I just want to jump in. Somebody is asking, what's a typical turnaround time for a project? Again, there are as many projects as there's that many answers. It depends on the complexity. It depends on what it is. It depends on a lot of things. But the important thing for you to know, because I can hear the argument like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do it in time. This is negotiated before you start the project. And by negotiated, I mean it's discussed. And, you know, there's sometimes our clients that need a rush job. And if you can't do it, you just say, sorry, I can't do that. And, you know, that's why they're asking you before they assign it if you can do it. But typically, when an assignment is given, you discuss the scope, there's brainstorming, there's some back and forth as far as that goes. And then based on what it is, a timeline is agreed upon. And oftentimes there are touchstones or touch points. You know, maybe you'll write the headline and lead and you'll get some feedback on that. And then based on that, the next deadline will be the final for the final draft. And then there's some back and forth. But the important thing is that it is something that is discussed and it's reasonable, because the client wants you to do the best job. They don't want you to feel pressure or rush, or, you know, everybody wants a winning project. So everybody has that in mind and what's important for that to happen.
I saw a question pop up from someone named David. It's the weirdest thing. It said, you say that you've answered all of our questions, but then I haven't had my questions answered. And yet I saw that, and now it's gone, and I can't find any questions from you, David. So if you can repost right now in the Q&A, and then Jade or Barb will flag it immediately. I can't see anything from you. I'm wondering if you're posting it to someone specifically. Make sure you guys are posting the questions to all so that we can all see them.
also, if it's in chat, we may not see it. It has to be in the Q&A section.
No,
so
it's not up
really
there.
important.
I looked up there.
Okay, you looked there too. Okay.
Yeah. Another question I just want to jump into here is somebody's asking if a job has been on direct response jobs for a while, is it still available? You know, we don't necessarily know that for sure, but if it's something that you are interested in, I would reach out to them and let them know that even if it's not for this particular assignment or this particular position, here's what I do, here's what I have to offer. I'd love to talk to you about if I can help you out in any way. So use those, the companies that are on direct response job, not only for the specific job that's being talked about, but think of them as a lead source, because you know they hire copywriters. So what else could they possibly need writers for? And maybe that's another way of approaching them.
Tanya's asking, she said we didn't answer her question. I'm like, we're still getting to them, guys. We're still answering, so just keep on, you know, if you have a question, it's not that we skipped over you, it's that we're trying to organize them. But she says, when just starting, is it better to set aside certain hours a day, or should you be more flexible? It really depends on how you work. Some people like to write when they're feeling creative. I'll tell you, for me, I'm a very structured person. I'm a highly productive person because of it. Like, for me, that's what works. So I have to write the same time every single day. I know that my brain is weaker in the afternoon when it comes to speed and ideas. So I write first thing before I get into email, before I start looking at the news, before anything can take my brain away. So just like, you know, so much of the stuff in this industry that you're going to learn about, you hear from various people, you're going to hear from multiple success stories, you're going to hear from multiple experts. There's going to be various recommendations. You're going to have two different experts say two different things. You're going to have two success stories, have two different experiences. And there isn't a one-size-fits-all for everybody. And I wish that there was, because it would make it really easy. But just be patient with yourself, be honest with yourself, and the more you can develop routines and figure out what works for you, it's kind of like working out, you know. Some people can just work out whenever they want to. Some people have to do it at the same time every single day. Sometimes people have to, like, do group classes, or they prefer to work out for themselves, or they only like running. You know, the same thing goes here. So be flexible with yourself, but know your limitations. If you're an easily distracted person, let's say, well, figure out those periods of the day where you're going to be the most distracted and schedule around that. Again, for me, like, I have 2 3-hour writing blocks. I know that once I get going, I don't want to stop. So I do a 3-hour writing block on Tuesday and a 3-hour writing block on Thursday. Those are big writing spots for me. Every other day I have these 30-minute blocks. You'll come up with what works for you, but just be mindful of how you're being productive and what's working for you, and then adapt accordingly. But I'll tell you, I think structure works better. But that's my opinion.
We're looking through the questions here.
And the girls, Jade and Barb, said they're trying to prioritize as much as possible. So if we want to stick over in the prioritize, they will ensure that no question gets left behind. So we can all move over to prioritize now. So Rod says, you mentioned opportunities for storytelling types of copywriting. Can you expand a little on that and where to look? If you're a good storyteller, you'd make a great direct response copywriter, for starters. Story-based promos, which is a type of, it's a style of promotion. You know, many of AWAI's promotions have stories in them. Those are the most compelling, engaging, and have a higher response, because people remember stories. People connect with stories. They identify with people in stories. And so it's a much better way of showing something rather than just telling somebody something. So storytelling will make you great. You will be great in many different projects because you're a great storyteller. Case studies, though, are great because, again, you're talking about a before and after. You're taking it on a journey. Somebody who was doing this, they were having this problem, they then used this product, now they're having this life now, this transformation story. That would be good for you. Video sales letters, very similar to the direct response sales letter, but written more in like a storyboarded fashion where somebody's telling the story. So if you're a good storyteller, if you have a lot of detail to you, that's going to be a great place for you. Somebody else asked about screenwriting. We don't teach screenwriting because screenwriting, the reality is there's only 1,000 jobs at any given point. So for us, that's too small of an opportunity to cover. But we do love screenwriters. There are over 100,000 screenwriters out there looking for those 1,000 jobs. And screenwriters make fantastic, what's that? Screenwriters make fantastic video script writers. Since you understand scripts and you understand storyboarding and you understand the flow, I'm trying to take you from here to there. Just like storytellers, they're taking you on a journey. So you will be great with video sales letters. You'll be good with how-to videos. In the B2B side of things, lots of video scripts are needed. You can get paid, I think it's like $500 a page for a video script, and most video scripts have a minimum of 5 minutes. Whether the video is 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you still get paid the 5 minutes. So video scripts, if you're a screenwriter, head on over there. That's a great opportunity for you.
And somebody's asking, what program would you start with to learn about storytelling? Again, I would say the accelerated program, because that is the foundation. And story leads are one of the most popular leads that of sales letters, and the lead is the very opening of the sales letter. So if that's something that you feel very drawn to, it could be a great fit.
That really is the recommendation, guys, for any of the paths. Whether you want to be a case study writer, video writer, content writer, article writer, blog poster, social media person, if you take the accelerated program for 6-figure copywriting, that is your foundation. And we teach you, the example that we use in that program is a sales letter. We walk you through a sales letter. And the reasoning behind that is not to make you write sales letters. It's just that if you can write a sales letter, that gives us the opportunity to teach you all the things, all the possible pieces that you might run into when doing any other project type. But if you can write a sales letter, you can do anything else. We're very confident that all we then have to teach you is how the formula behind a case study, and you will be a better case study writer. You'll be a better fiction writer. You'll be a better blogger. Any form of copy, even if you're not writing direct response sales letters, if you've taken the accelerated program, you will be better. Your copy will be better. It will be more effective. Your clients will be happier. They'll get better results. You'll make more money. It is what it is. That is the foundation for everything that we teach.
Oh, this is a funny question. Funny because I know the answer. Is there any demand in the political world for copywriters?
Funny.
Yes, yes, yes. And as a matter of fact, when you just think about all the mail you get, all the fundraising, all the commercials, all the radio advertisement, all the websites, that's all written by copywriters. And we actually have the man who started political fundraising coming to boot camp this year. It's like this big coup that he's coming. And he's going to talk a little bit about that world. And he's actually coming to Job Fair because he's looking for writers. He has a 75-person agency that just focuses on political fundraising, or, political copywriting. So on the local level, state level, national level, huge opportunity. Same way with any kind of fundraising, really. When you think about it, they live and die by their donations. And it's copywriters that make that happen. Oh boy, we have an active group. I love it. We're reading. Make sure we get everything here.
Curtis wants to know, I'm currently in the 6-year copywriting program, and I'm curious where I can study, handwrite specific alternative health industry copy to get the right mind frame and learn to speak that language. So go after any of the major alternative health companies. Do the research and find the big companies who are sending big sales letters and video sales letters. That's what you're going to want. If you just look for the top 5 companies and then either buy something or sign up for their e-letters so that you get their free stuff, they'll start sending you. Whether you want them or not, they will start sending you their controls. So definitely, don't be limited just to the samples that we've provided you. Feel free to go out and go after other people who are out there.
These questions are jumping around a little bit.
It's because they're prioritizing and unprioritizing them. I think this is finally David's question. I don't know how to get my message to appear and be answered, so I'm asking everyone. That's what you were supposed to do. That's probably why it disappeared before, David, so thank you. How do I find a company that pays well? I have no problem finding a niche and a company in my would-be niche. That's just part of the challenge. I mean, that is a guessing game. It's like finding someone to marry. I don't know if they're going to be a good fit until I go on a few dates with them, right? You have to have those conversations. And Pam, I'd actually like for you to jump in on this in a second, because Pam has a great method for vetting companies ahead of time. But just remember, you're out there selling your value to these companies. It's counterintuitive, but you want to work for companies who appear to value their marketing. You want them to have really great websites with lots of content, products to sell. You want them to have a lot of risk. you know, that they want a great copywriter because they've got a lot to gain by having great copy out there. They're actively selling. A lot of writers approach this industry thinking, oh, I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to save these companies. I'm going to help these little companies who don't have websites. And no, don't even bother, because those are companies who don't value their marketing anyways, so they're not going to value you, or they don't have the money to afford to value their marketing. Maybe they do value it, but they can't afford it, which means they can't afford you. So you have to fight against your intuition to think that you're going to save companies. I'm going to work for the little guy around the corner. You can do that when you're just starting out if all you're looking to do is gain confidence, but that's not going to be your long-term strategy. You're going to want to go after bigger clients. So Pam, can you talk though a little bit about how you vet companies who call you?
Sure. Well, there are a couple of things before companies even call me to find out who is spending money on marketing. If you're in a niche industry, like I have worked in the veterinary industry for a long time, and every year there are a couple of major conferences, and both of those conferences have websites with a tab listing all the exhibitors. Now, exhibitors at conferences have to spend at least $30,000 just to be registered, and then they have to spend money on their booth, on their brochures, on everything else that they do, their email campaigns to get people into the booth. So, and sometimes they sponsor the conference as well. So if you are interested in a particular industry and you find a conference website, see if they have an exhibitor page and look at the exhibitors. Those are all companies that are spending serious bucks to be reaching that audience that loves theirs. And it's pretty much true in any industry. I mean, if you look at, if you Google association and then whatever your niche is, like education association or baby products association or whatever it is you're interested in, you're going to find an association or two or trade shows, and you can see tons of companies that do value marketing and they do spend money. So that is one awesome way to find clients that are serious about marketing. When a client contacts you, I guess a few things are to look at what they have done and you know, ask them what they spend on their marketing, and then see how serious they are. And sometimes you can phase your work. So I've had smaller businesses who really need marketing, but they just don't have a budget for me to do 20 web pages at once. You might go, all right, well, let's pick the most important pages on your site, like home, services, that type of thing, and let's just do 5 pages. 5 pages at $500 a piece, and we'll start there. And that's going to be wonderful for you, an investment that lasts. You know, once those pages are ready, it's going to be great. And then when you're ready to do more, we can do more. So there are lots of ways to work with clients. You just want to make sure that they value marketing first and foremost.
So David, I hope that answers your question. All right, guys, I think we have answered 184 questions. My fingers are aching. Let me see. If you didn't get an answer to your question, we're going to give you like a minute. Repost it now in the Q&A. So I see a couple things. I posted it but haven't gotten a response. Make sure you're sending it to all. If you send it to any one of us, we might not be seeing it. So just put it in the Q&A, hit send to all, and then we all should see it. I'm just scrolling up to make sure we didn't miss any more. That's our promise that all the questions get answered.
Yeah, one thing I just want to clarify, Robin is asking, she has the assumption that Great Escape Publishing and International Living are 2 of our programs. That's not fully, that's 50% correct. Great Escape Publishing is a division of AWAI. It's a separate division, separately run by Lori Allen. And International Living is the flagship program. I believe it was the very first newsletter ever created and published by Agora, Inc., the huge newsletter publishing company out of Baltimore. So while we have a very friendly relationship with them, and they always come to job fair, they were involved in the travel writing program, we are separate companies.
I'm finding some questions that got lost up at the top. If you guys can stick at the bottom, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm getting all the answers done.
If you asked a question,
lots of thank yous, and honestly, we enjoy doing this so much. It's so great to be able to have this back and forth with you and to hopefully just give you a little nudge over anything that could be standing in your way. And, you know, this may not be for you, but the only way you're going to know is if you try it. And this is the safest place. This is the easiest place. This is the most supportive place to try this out. And you really owe it to yourself to do that.
It's so funny. Nobody ever says, you know, I wish I had never taken that accelerated program. We always hear, I wish I had taken it sooner. I bought it 7 years ago, I finally did it, and now I'm living this level. All the stories always start with, I found AWAI 10 years ago, and I didn't do anything with it. It's like again and again and again. So if you're on the fence, you literally have nothing to risk, right, except for maybe closing the door on something forever and making a decision one way or the other. If it's not for you, then you'll close the door, right, and then at least you don't have to think about it anymore and wonder what if. But if you do give it a shot, you know, all of our stuff is risk-free. We have all these money-back guarantees where, you know, we've been around for so long. We're not going anywhere, but take the chance on yourself. We were joking around 4th of July that my husband went out and spent like $150 on fireworks, right? And he was in line with these, like, tons of people spending hundreds of dollars on fireworks. And when he came home, one of our writers had written me this idea, and I thought, oh my gosh, these people are willing to spend $150 on fireworks, but yet they're not willing to spend $150 on themselves in something that is going to give them freedom. Like, to me, it was like mind-blowing. So give yourself the luxury of doing it for yourself. And then again, if it isn't for you, then you'll write it off and that's that. But if it is for you and you end up loving it and it does end up working for you, how great is that, right? It just takes this one little step to decide what's your first step going to be. And, you know, our member services team is there. A couple people have asked if we could talk. You know, just call member services. We have a full team that we have trained. They're the nicest group of people. That's what they do. They're there to guide you and help you make the right decisions for you based on your situation. Like we always say, no two people are the same. Everybody's background, everybody's experience, everyone's commitment level, everybody's ability right now, family obligations, everything is so different. I've never met people, you know, I might meet two people who say I want to make $50,000 a year, but their whys and the detail behind it is always so different. There are no two AWAI members that are the exact same. There's so many levels to all of this. So call them, ask them questions, tell them about, you know, what you're looking for in your background. Use this roadmap as a framework for that conversation to help them guide you into the right decisions for you, rather than, you know, this like a one-size-fits-all. But we're here. I mean, we're here to help you. We're here to help you make the right decisions. And like Katie said, just give it a shot.
Hey, Rebecca. We have a couple questions in. Victoria is in chat because she can't find Q&A, and she's asked a couple questions, and I don't know if we can take a look at those for her.
Do you want to answer them?
Sure. Well, she said she wanted to be a political copywriter, and we did answer that one. How can I be ready to get hired at boot camp this year? I have no experience. Anybody want to chime in on that one?
Well, the thing about boot camps is I view it as an opportunity to start a relationship. It's an opportunity to meet marketers. It's very, well, it's impossible, really, to meet this many marketers in one place. So I would go with the attitude, with the intention, with the goal of just getting a relationship started, finding out as much about them as you can, thinking about meeting them, having actual face-to-face, and then coming back with a proposal for them, with an idea for them. Based on what you learn at boot camp, based on what you learn between now and boot camp, the skill building you learn, you're going to be in a whole different mindset than where you are right now today. So I wouldn't put that kind of pressure on you. Well, I know that people certainly do get hired, get their first clients at boot camp, and there are plenty of stories of where that's the case. But I think it puts too much pressure on you. I think the goal is to learn as much as you can, explore as many of the different niches, explore the marketers, the companies, the speakers that are coming, put your effort into that so that you're prepared when you're there and you do have the opportunity to meet them to then launch a relationship there that you then follow up with and nurture afterwards. Pam, Rebecca, you may have a different answer for that.
I'm so sorry.
I'm the same. I think you come to boot camp for, you know, I always say to collect intel. You know, you go to the companies that you want to work for and you try to find that point of contact, point of connection, figure out, listen to them, ask them questions so that when you follow up with them, you're giving them what they want. That's the best. I mean, how awesome is that to be able to get one-on-one time to ask the questions that you have so that you can formulate your follow-up to the exact thing that they want. Figure out what their hot buttons are, figure out where the weaknesses are, figure out what they want right now. And then, oh, look at that. You write an email that has the exact solution that they're looking for. That would be my recommendation for boot camp. As far as no experience goes, outside of boot camp, remember, we don't care about experience. As people who are hiring you to write copy, we care about your writing ability, your professionalism, and your ability to understand what it is that we're trying to accomplish. That's why, again, that's why we recommend niches, because it helps you focus and really understand an industry and talk the talk and walk the walk. So just do samples, right? Put together samples. If you want to write case studies, write a case study sample. If you want to write emails, write emails. I'm actually answering one in the Q&A right now. I'll just answer it verbally. Bruce says, I had asked if there are any writing exercises for me to try to see if I like writing. I like sales and marketing. My answer to you, Bruce, is if you like sales and marketing, you are already way ahead of the game.
That's what I said.
That's something that most people don't actually come in with. That's, you know, very few of us come in with that sales and marketing background, but that means you already understand what companies are trying to accomplish, so that's amazing. What I would recommend to you as far as samples, or to see if you like it, is go to companies that you buy from right now, or that you frequent and you read regularly, look at their marketing materials. So let's say that was going to be your niche. So AWAI, for example, let's say you like reading AWAI stuff. Just practice writing it. Write an email. Pick a program out of our catalog and say, how would I write an email that would get someone to click over and read this promo in the catalog? Write a content piece. How would I write, you know, the writer's life? The focus of the writer's life is about helping people make a living as a writer. It's all about, you know, getting business, promoting themselves, gaining confidence, writing better. What would be an article topic that you could write for the writer's life? And just write it. Pretend like you're writing for us or for any other company. That's how you can get a feel for if you like the writing. Just start, and that's a great practice, guys. Like if you want to just get regular practice, is again, pick a few companies you want to work for and start practicing. Write the way that they speak, you know, get in the mindset of the guy who's signing the email, start writing like that. You might find that a few weeks in of you practicing their stuff that you come across them and you're like, hey, you know, this isn't half bad. I might just send it to the company and see if they like it. If they, you know, this might be my sample. And that is a great way of getting your foot in the door with a company. So hopefully that answers your question.
And one other thing about boot camp, you know, everyone's so meeting the marketers and the speakers is such a huge opportunity, and you know, it's so exciting. But the other huge resource there to you is your fellow AWAI members. There's going to be over 400 people, and oftentimes, you know, I can think of 10 at least situations where copywriters have met fellow copywriters and they've shared business leads and experiences and even started their own little businesses, or you learn how they market their business. It's such a unique opportunity to be immersed in this world with people that get why you're doing this and share the same passion and are at different points along the path. But Pam, I mean, how many times has this happened to you where either you've had more work than you can handle and you give it to somebody, probably somebody that you met at boot camp, or the reverse has happened for you?
Yeah, when I first started out, I actually met Elise Bennon at one of the job fairs, and she had a client that had I mean, she had a connection that had too much copywriting work on their plate, so they brought me in to help out with the load, which was so nice. And then over time, I own a website called petcopywriter.com, and since I'm now full-time at AWAI, I work with just a couple of pet industry clients, and the rest who approach me, I have to refer them to other copywriters who work in the pet industry, and I have a couple I know really well. But so there's opportunity there too if you find someone or even buddy up. There's the idea of two people who want to work in the same niche could buddy up and share the load and share the marketing. That's another idea too.
I think we can call it. I think we've answered every question. So let's do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is a new record, guys. 233 questions. Virtual high fives all around. Like to our attendees, you guys rocked it this time. I'm blown away.
We couldn't have answered them if you didn't ask them.
No, the variety of questions and the depth and the attention that you've been paying, and like you guys are really thinking about this. You're not just answering those surface questions. You're genuinely looking at it from your perspective and what you're hoping to accomplish from this. So virtual high five to you too, because I'm very impressed just at all of this. You guys did a great job. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be here next month for Inside AWAI. If you have any questions in the meantime, we are available again. Ask Rebecca at AWAIonline.com. Ask Katie at AWAIonline.com. We have our member services team standing by if you have any questions as well, 866-879-2924. We're all on Facebook. We have our Facebook groups. I mean, if you need to reach us, we are very easily found. So with that, Katie and Pam, thank you so much.
Okay, just real quick, Alan, I see your question, and I want to give you a full answer, but there's not time right now. This is ALLAN. Send it to me at askkatie@AWAIonline.com, and we'll get your question answered. All right, bye, everybody.